unapologetic era where I really need to come up with a much better intro because welcome back is just basic.
We basic white bitches is what everybody thinks.
Well, you forgot the middle-aged part.
I'm not middle aged. I'm just basic white bitch.
I feel like that
Emphasis
was
on
a
the
little
bitch.
racist, but okay.
Like, can't call myself basic white bitch.
You're generalizing a whole demographic of people.
That I am calling myself that.
Okay, so today we don't have any dirty DMs and I don't have any crazy escapades. But I do have something that I would like to discuss a little bit on, and that is why the fuck is it just assumed that us as women are supposed to do everything perfect while the man goes to work and he comes home?
There's so many ways you can fucking go. One, we're not expected to do it all.
But who?
We put that on ourselves.
Do we? Well, we did in the 60s when the feminist thingy happened. But now, no. Yeah, no. I am this whole bullshit about what do you bring to the table? Bitch, I bring tits.
No.
I bring tits and I make babies.
I was about to say, what you bring to the table is that I can reproduce you and give you another one.
Right, but that's not how the men these days feel. They want to know what kind of income I'm bringing to the table, what kind of emotional maturity I'm bringing to the table, what kind of back rubs do I give, and do I like to be tied up?
That's not the same. You're talking about two different things.
No, I'm not.
No,
That is what is expected of us as American women. We are supposed to have the children, raise the children, have an income that meets or exceeds our male partners. We're supposed to be good in bed. We're supposed to want to be good in bed. We are supposed to have abs. No fupas allowed. We are supposed to be decent dancers, even if we have 2 left feet. What are they expected to do? And why the fuck are they the ones saying, what do you bring to the table?
I think you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Well, just go back. Go back to my comments.
I know, right? Your comments are always there. And I'm not, but I view it differently. Like, you either take what I got or you don't take it at all. And if you're not gonna take it at all, then you're not meant to what you. I mean,
this is how I know you're married.
No.
I have a gap in my shirt. By the way, still have completely given up on my looks, apparently. Yeah, so back to I am PMSing still, and this is weighing heavy on me because I am in the dating world, and I would like a decent man, or like they like to call themselves a high value man.
What defines a high value man?
Well, they define themselves,
I know, but what is it?
baby.
What's a high value man?
A high value man, I would think.
I was okay. Give me two perspectives. Give me their perspective and
Their
yours.
perspective is that they have money.
How much money?
And I guess they don't have herpes. Like, I think that
Incurable STDs and we're
right.
okay.
They're on an antibiotic, but they have money. And look, I'm not saying they have a lot of money. In fact, I'm not sure.
Can a small 6-figure, or we're talking about like
First of all,
they make
you
40,000.
can't survive without the 6 figures anymore.
No.
So yeah, you better have 6 figures, and y'all can fucking hate me for saying that. But yeah, yeah. So they consider themselves high value if they're not ugly. I didn't say they were hot. They're not ugly. They make enough money to go to Hawaii every 3 years.
Yeah.
And, well, yeah, we're like going super middle class here, love. Super middle class. And then also they don't have any incurable STDs. And I'm dead freaking serious about this. Okay?
And that's what they're considering a high value man. Okay, what do you consider a high value man?
I consider a high value man somebody who has done, this is going to sound so freaking ridiculously cheesy coming from me, but somebody who's done the work on themselves. Like they have, yes, I want some stability financially, but that's not top priority. Top priority is, can you and I have a conversation that is honest? Can you and I have an honest conversation where we can look inward, both of us, not just me, Both of us look
Oh,
inward.
were you in my house today?
Well,
What the
all I'm
fuck?
saying is that's what makes a high value man. By the way, a man who does that, he's gonna automatically have stability financially because he's been working on himself. He's not a shit show.
So what do you do when they are God, you like that you just said everything in one little sentence and I just can't even there's so many ways. I mean,
I mean, I heard. Okay, so to make
so
the
emotional stability it would bring up to a high value man, but of course you got to
By the
you got to
way,
bring the same
emotional
thing.
stability doesn't mean you have it all figured out.
Oh fuck no.
Emotional stability means that you can be honest with yourself. You take accountability. That's all it means. Because I'm going to die still trying to figure it out. So,
You got like 20 more years at least. 30 maybe.
no, I'm 43. I'll be lucky to have 30 years.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
And then why? Okay, so what about the man that thinks he's high value but he's not?
That's the one that's probably on a dating app.
He's delusional
The
about
one
himself.
that thinks he's high value and that he's not is taking 3 girls out a week.
Are you living in my head right now? Like I
No,
swear.
this is my life.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're like living it. Like wait a second. Like we haven't really. I mean,
But
we had minimal communication this past week, and I'm like, wait a second. Are you like have a camera at my house right now? What the fuck's happening?
well, this whole like high value man thing is now taking over this whole alpha guy thing because the alpha guy thing has trickled down to these dumbasses.
Those aren't the same things.
I'm telling you, the alpha guy is now the high value guy.
Those aren't the same thing.
The ones that self-describe, like they self
Well,
define
they need to look
themselves.
in a fucking dictionary a little bit better because those are not the same person.
Well, they have their own definitions. Okay, don't be so hard on them. Again,
Maybe they deserve to be fucking hard
again,
on.
what do you bring to the table?
I can make another
Because
one
they
of
can make
you.
their own definitions.
I can make another one of you.
Yeah, they think that's not enough. And then, okay, all right, I'm glad you said that. Because where does my value fall now that I ain't making any more babies? So now I lose value as a person? Because also, I didn't want to get divorced and not be with the man who I had children with. He just couldn't keep his pants on. So I now am out here flailing around with all these high value alpha fuckers who want to know what I bring to the goddamn table.
What do you feel like you bring to the table?
Well, I don't make babies anymore.
Okay, that's out.
If I do, I make really cute little, you know what ones. Yeah, that have extra chromosomes.
Okay. Sorry. I got distracted by it was a very important message that I'm pretty fucking pissed off about. Let me just say that.
Which part? Because I'm pissed off about the table part.
The table part.
I'm sick and tired of being asked, what do you bring to the table? Or
Oh.
that expectation being there. Because as soon as I say it, the perimenopause in me comes out. Because I want to go, have you lost your effing mind?
I
Do
can
you understand what I've been through and how I've gotten here?
what I have learned about this table is I don't know which way to go with this besides if this is good or bad. The lower my expectation is, the better my life seems to fucking go.
Well, that's how I ended up with somebody 15 years younger than me. And you see how that ended.
That doesn't matter. Like I think in my mind the only way to go into the relationship is with low expectations, then I'm never disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah,
the expectations that I have higher,
We should
the
anyway.
expectations that I have higher, I'm just gonna provide for myself. If you can't bring the money, I'm gonna bring the money and I'm gonna do it myself.
Now you're
And if you can't travel with me, I'm gonna go fucking travel by myself.
now you're misplacing your masculine and feminine roles.
Okay, but we've already talked about this. I'm not a feminine person. I'm very black and white and I'm very masculine in what I believe.
But you have been married to a masculine man.
Do you really want to call? I don't think either one of them have been fucking masculine men.
No. One of them has shown more masculine tendencies than the other. And I'm only going by being a decent, being decent stability.
Whatever.
But I mean, again, I don't know what happens behind closed doors. But I'm just saying those are the traits he's shown on the outside. On the outside.
And that's what I keep saying. No one knows what happens behind closed doors.
Right. And as for like personality traits, like just personality, I'm not saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Because actually, if you go by personality and what they show the outside world personality wise, you would flip them. And you would say that your exes look more masculine. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know when people like come in and like I have exes telling stories they know I'm very black and white. They know I'm masculine. I know I'm driven, and I know I'm just direct and honest. There's no and so like and I they're like, "Oh, I could see how that ended up that way because she's that way on the outside.
Yeah.
So she's got to be even worse on the inside when behind closed doors."
Dang. Okay, I like that you said that because it's been brought to my attention a lot that with my commenters on socials and stuff that they're like, "Well, you don't really want to be led. You don't really want to be like be the feminine role." And I'm like, "I didn't choose to be in the position I'm in now. I didn't want to be so independent. Um I really did love being that wife and mother role. Now, I am a better person personally for having to push my boundaries and outside my comfort zone. But I didn't choose this whole like I love traveling by myself. Like that's not something that I set out to be. It has fallen in place that way, and I do love these things about myself, but I don't want to be judged by it. By a man. I don't want a man to judge me because I now have found very independent things that I find a lot of joy in. And I'm definitely being
You either join me at the table with this with the independence that I have found, or you don't.
okay. You're right.
And I'm not sorry for being such a bitch, but I'm tired of the in between. Like just either join me at the table where I'm at or don't. And if my table's higher up than your table is, oh
Then
well,
step up
then step up or get
or
out.
fall off. Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's a lot that can't step up. And the ones that can't step up, they're going to be like your really loud minority because they're screaming the loudest. But and it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Those are also some people who consider themselves high value.
Well, maybe that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is because we can't be the value of producing children anymore. You or I mean, you probably I can't. I've
I
been
mean,
fixed.
I technically could. I just don't know
Yeah.
what would come out.
Yeah. I cannot. I've been fixed, cut, tied, burned, singed. Like it's not coming back, and I'm okay with that. But it's so now I'm in a different perspective of where my life's at, knowing that I don't bring that to the table anymore.
Right. And so, okay, but I'm so glad that you said, what do women bring to the table? And you said, well, we can make other people. And we are at a point in our lives where we don't plan on making other people. So, I think I bring plenty to the table just being myself. Just being myself and not having to make children.
A companionship.
Yeah, I think I'm a great companion. I don't give a crap who's gonna say what about me. I think I'm a great companion. I think I'm fun to be around, and I think that you should be happy to get to have my companionship. That should be enough. Do I want to contribute? I do, and I will. But I'm doing it because I want to, not because I'm expected to.
But eventually, there's gonna be a point where you don't contribute anymore.
Oh no, I'm still contributing. I'm
No,
just
I'm saying like
contributing in different ways.
that your age as you age, there's a contribution isn't necessarily gonna be there anymore. So you need a companion.
What they need to understand, and they being these men, what they need to understand is that if you like to have your head scratched and I enjoy scratching your head, that is contributing. Yeah. I'm not doing it because you want, like, you're expecting me to do it or you told me to do it. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it for you. And that is contributing. And that is adding value to your life.
Oh, you bring up such a fucking good point because I've been at a crossroads in some relationships where, you know what, I made coffee for you this morning because to take it off your plate or,
Hmm.
to make things easier for you. And something is so stupid and minute. They're like, that doesn't bring value to my life.
It absolutely does. It's because it goes back to the whole like it's the thought that counts. And in those situations, the thought is $1 million because you thought far enough to think, you know what? I wasn't very easy to be around yesterday, and he does this every day. Let me do it for him today without him asking or expecting it or being told to do it. And he may not recognize the value in it at the time, but that doesn't mean that that wouldn't like you can like you should be able to find your ebb and flows in that.
Right. I mean, I think, and like, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe like something simple as, okay, you just worked 50 hours this week and you're working a double on Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and wash all your clothes for you.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna make sure the house is swept and mopped so that when you're here, it's not something that you have to worry about
Or
because
completely chaotic.
completely chaotic. But it's not like I feel like contribution and that comes in companionship, but when you're with the wrong person, they're not going to see that
Right.
as
And that's why I said the ebb
contribution.
and flows matter, because in the big picture, they should like almost subconsciously take those things and recognize them as you giving to
Mhm.
them. But if you're not on the same big picture, you're not going to get it,
Well, what
or
drive
they're not going to get it.
well, I don't know if you experience in relationships is once you get down the road in a relationship and whether it's 6 months, a year, 10 years, it doesn't matter. And they're like, "Well, you used to do this for me and you used to do this for me." And you don't do that anymore.
I've never understood the whole like you used to do and you don't do it anymore thing. That doesn't that doesn't make sense to me, because we change so much, especially when you're with somebody for a long period of time.
Mhm.
If it's something they did 2 weeks ago that they automatically just quit doing it, yeah, that conversation makes sense. But if we're talking about something I did 5 years ago that I haven't done in 5 years and now you're bringing it up as something you're resentful about, I mean, come on, get a life.
So
Because what have I been doing in the last 5 years that you're not giving me credit for, that maybe you didn't like, and you could have spoke up about that too? Like, I don't want you to make my damn coffee in the morning. If that doesn't help and doesn't ease, then say it.
yeah.
Again, what makes a guy have high value to me? Being able to have honest conversations.
Fucking Jesus Christ, yes. Like just in look, I'm not saying your voice isn't going to be raised at some point in time in these conversations and this honesty because out of frustration or other things, but just fucking tell me.
Yeah.
Don't leave me in limbo of not knowing, okay, well, I did this for you. And now you're like, I didn't fucking need that from you. I didn't need that from you. But it's like, oh, I'm so confused because you just said,
See,
well,
even like a bad communication in that could be like, hey, I'm not into that, but I see it. Like I get it. Like I get that you did it. I'm not into it. I don't like it, but I see that you did it for me. Like that's bad communication, but still communication.
just communication. And that's what, like, even going into the dating world and being like, there was a gentleman, like, I didn't talk to you today. I,
I'm having
like,
shirt issues. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. But it's like, I tell everybody, I'm like, look, you had a busy day. Totally cool with that. I get it. We're adults. Life happens and it's okay. But just be like, hey, look, I thought about you today. Chaotic. When I get done with the day, let's talk. Like, just communicate fucking something with me.
I like a yo.
Yo,
I'll take a yo. Like a yo is like, I know that sounds absolutely nuts. And I used to tell my ex-husband all the time, do not call me dude. And now
bro,
I call dudes dude all the time on purpose. But
bro, hey, bro.
and I actually really enjoyed calling him dude on purpose too
Ain't a
once it
dude.
started that.
Don't get me started on that one.
But
Okay.
anyway, I like a yo because a yo says, hey, I'm alive. Are you alive? Just thinking about you.
And I get, and then we've talked about this too before, like the what you're doing, like what you're doing.
Hmm.
And I started thinking about that a lot because I used to be, I can't remember your stance on this, but I used to be the same way. I'm like, that's all you got for me, like that's
Well,
not,
we're talking about somebody who you're not in a relationship with.
yeah.
I'm talking
So if
about
you're in a
like an
relationship,
almost stranger. Don't what you doing me.
but to me, and I'm starting to perceive it a little bit differently. Of you know what, at 11:32 this morning, he was like, I want to check in on her.
Yeah.
And so I've started to perceive what you're doing a little bit differently and not appreciative completely of it. Like I think you could say other things, but at least tells me, "Hey, I'm thinking about you."
I look, I just experienced this with a person that I dated in the past and then tried to revisit it again, and they went MIA for multiple days. And when I finally checked back in, because I was going on the 72-hour rule, like if they don't text you or call you in 72 hours, like you are not what their priority
It's a good
is.
3 strike, you're out. That's
Yeah.
24 hour, 1 strike per.
But
Oh, wait, go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
because this person and I did have a past, I thought I'm gonna give a little bit of grace here, not because I can be really hard these days on dudes, and so
Absolutely, you fucking can. You're
um,
terrible. You're so hard on
I
people.
know. So I thought I'd give him some grace. So I sent a what the fuck text.
That's not giving anybody grace.
I could have just blocked him. Anyway, he gave me a terrible excuse about a really bad excuse, which I don't want to say completely because I don't want to completely out who he is, but a really bad excuse, and I was like, what? Like, what? No, you don't go missing for 3 days because you had some sort of mechanical problem. Like,
Again, it goes to communication.
a yo, I got in a wreck, or a yo, like that goes a long way. That goes a long way. Yeah. No. So I just proved this is why I don't send the what the hell is going on text.
Okay, I've read those. I know what situation you're talking about, and I read those texts,
Well, I think there's more, and I didn't send you the rest of
and
them.
that's okay. But I got the grasp of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're too going too extreme on this.
Well, I mean, some people, their grace is like,
That you don't, but and
we're
there's
like,
been scenarios that I've read texts. I'm like, she ain't giving any fucking grace. It's a fuck you. I know where you're at in this month, because
yeah, you do know where I'm at this month.
there's
I don't
no
get it though. Like,
grace.
I'm so, and maybe it's because I now have opened my options to like not just where my mortgage is, but I don't understand these guys who are like act interested. Like they say, I'm so interested in you. And I'm like, okay, maybe like I'll give him a chance. And then what? Ghost? Ghost.
Matthew Hussey his ass. You need to go back and review the knowledge of some past. I mean, like, you need to go Matthew Hussey.
I am, and you're saying that's too hard.
No, you're not Matthew Hussey in. There's difference.
I mean,
of...
I can hussy.
You're not Matthew Hussey in him. No, you
Hussy
gotta.
is quite temporary though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, back to what I bring to the table. This is my point. My point is I know what my value is, and I do know what I bring to the table. And I also know, we've discussed this before too, there's a single Leah and a relationship Leah. And so
Yep.
sometimes I need to pull back and go, let you see a little bit of who I really am. I get all of that. Like, I recognize that. But don't you dare wonder what my contribution is because of my income or how well I do you use a dishwasher or not? Yes, I know that's really petty, but that does actually have a thing to do with
That's mama trauma because you had to wash the dishes your whole.
no, I didn't have to.
But I'm
No, but
saying
there's
your
some
mama's sink was always clean.
yeah, there's some but we didn't cook. There's some men that they think that a woman's not really womanin if she uses a dishwasher.
I feel like that's the only way to sanitize.
I
I don't think it because I have a given time 6 people living in my household, and if somebody gets sick, everything's going through the dishwasher because I need to sanitize it so no one else gets sick and my whole entire house ends up down a rabbit hole.
Hey, side note, and this is completely a side note. When our kids were little and they had bottles, how come we had to buy a separate bottle sanitizer and we couldn't just run it through the dishwasher with the steam? Why wasn't that not good enough?
Or you had to boil them. You just boiled them.
I know, but why did we have to do all that and you could just put them in the dishwasher?
Maybe it doesn't get hot enough. I don't fucking know.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, I want you to. I want to. I'm gonna put this. We're gonna do this.
What are we going to do?
Okay, so you've ever seen the thing where some guys' names are longer than the other, so you got to find a kind of a grace period and give them,
Oh, yeah. They get a letter taken off.
and they get a letter taken off every time they fuck up and not.
Well, that's
so-
not fair if his name's, like CJ.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you got to have like a.
What if
60
CJ's a really great guy? But then
2 strikes you're out.
Malachi just sucks. I don't know. I don't even know how to spell
That's
Malachi.
what I'm saying. You got to find a number, a letter, like 5. If his name's only 2 letters, then you give him 3 extra. 5. Pick a number, and then every time he does something, he disappears for 72 hours. And there goes a letter until he has no letters left, and then he's deleted from your phone.
I know the hangman theory is a good one. I know you've been married for a long time, but did you do where you put people in your phone as just what you remembered them as?
Ugh, yeah, and it still have that. I'm like, I finally started cleaning. I'm like, who the hell was
Even girls I do it with now.
Or I find I have this one friend that I kept spelling his name wrong. And so I was like, what is your whole fucking name? Give me your whole fucking name. And now I have him saved first, middle, and last name. And every time I talk to him, I call him by his whole entire name because I kept spelling his name.
Okay, so you know how you have your image that comes up too?
Yeah.
Recently one of my best boyfriends changed his image, and when he called me, his new image came up, and I noticed it, and I was like, that is a cheesy ass picture. But then he said to me on the phone, did you see my new picture? And I was like, I did see your new picture, and that is a cheesy ass picture. And he goes, oh, I changed it because everyone said the other one was cheesy.
I know what you're talking about. And the second picture was way worse. But I've had you change your pictures. I'm like, no, that bitch. I go back and I change the
I don't
pictures.
think it's yeah, I don't think it's fair that like I can go change your picture of me in my phone in your phone or vice versa, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I can control your phone.
yeah.
But I did think it was funny that I noticed it and thought, what a cheesy
It
picture.
really was.
And
The
then he
second picture was way
actually
worse.
asked me.
And I know him, but don't know him. And I'm like, that's terrible. Don't do that.
Oh, I love him so much though. Yeah, anyway. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I am
Bringing to the table.
I am feisty about it. And I really like. There's so much more I'd like to say about it, and I would love to have a male guest on to talk about this too, because their side of the story, whether they consider themselves high value or alpha or whatever, they all tend to still like get a little bit defensive when it comes to this subject.
But I think that's why we balance a little bit because you have more feminine energy versus I have more masculine. So yes, we may not always have a man perspective, but
But on this one, you got it. On
go.
this one, we were on the same page. Like I said, like
It's just honesty and communication. What the fucking is so hard about that?
no, well, I'm talking about their guy. You and I are talking about something different there. But the whole like them literally messaging, going, "What do you bring to the table?" What did you? I'm sorry, this is gonna sound really,
My
really.
response
This is
would
gonna sound
be,
really bad. But like, did you look at me? Like I. n-
just turn it around. I would just turn it around and be like, what do you want me to bring to the table?
That's actually a really good
Because
idea.
I would want it's like a job interview. I mean, like you go into like, what do you want this position to be filled as? And so what do you bring to the table? What do you want me to bring to the table? And I'm not going to change who I am, but at least I know now if I can match your comparison.
Oh yeah, but I do. I mean, like I'm always like. I guess some people would call it looking for red flags or whatever. It's not necessarily red flags. It's just does this mesh with me or not? And I don't know. Though apparently nobody meshes with me. I'm gonna be single the rest of my life.
Like I tell you, God,
What?
I tell you, look, God's working in mysterious ways at this point, and I'm just letting it go. And whatever happens, happens because I don't have any control anymore.
I lost control a long time ago. Like a long time ago.
Well, there's
I've been
lessons you haven't learned
literally
because
flailing.
God keeps giving you the same lessons over and over again. So there's lessons you
Okay,
haven't learned
Mom.
yet.
All right, fine. Can we just write it down and like put it in a TikTok? I'll figure it out.
Well, I'm living the same thing. I keep getting the same lessons, and it's like, what are you trying to tell me that I'm not learning? Because I keep reliving the same shit, like
I've-
on repeat.
You know, now that you're making me think about this, what did I say? What did I say not that long ago that I was like, everybody's been telling me forever? Oh, that I'm the problem.
That
That's
you're the problem.
yeah, that's so vague though. Like, what makes me what makes me the
Again,
problem?
communication. You need to, like, I need details. I need a X, Y, and Z. Don't even give me a shit ton. Give me an X, Y, and Z that I know I can fix.
Well, you're saying that I'm really hard on guys, like texting wise, but man, I tell you what, they have earned that position in general as a general species.
But you're turning men away that could have a value. Not high value, but they could have a value. And you're deterring them by saying, what the fuck?
He absolutely deserved that. By the way, guess who disappeared again?
Well, he don't got no letters left in his name, so
He lost letters in his name
Alicia.
years ago.
That's a get him out of your cycle.
Oh, the reason why
Dig him in the well.
I did definitely went back to the well on that one. Do you remember how? Okay, I asked you to think about changing people's name in your phone on purpose because if I put in there, oh God, how do I not use one that's actually in my phone?
No one's gonna know.
Detroit Danny in my phone. That's a lot of letters he gets.
No, don't get that. I said pick 5. Just give me 5 letters. Don't have to be his whole name. I think 5 chances is plenty enough.
We're supposed to do 3
I
chances.
know, but we're human. I'm giving grace for human era.
I kind of am interested to know what a guy's side of the story is on this though right now because what do they say to each other about women in this aspect of like us being too hard on them texting and stuff wise communication early on whenever you're meeting someone.
I think it's important to tell what your boundary is from the very start. So setting the level of communication that you are expecting, and if they can't meet you at that level, then they're not the person that to be with. I think setting a expectation, not even a boundary, but expectation of what you bring to the table and what your communication is and what you expect from them. And if they can't handle it, then I'm sorry, your letters are gone away pretty damn quickly.
I don't think they understand too that I don't need somebody to have sex with. I think because they're guys and they don't have as many opportunities as we have as women. I don't think they understand that I'm like, yeah, no, I don't
Well,
no thank you.
I God's teaching me a lesson right now. Let's just say in the sex area.
I've been in that. Okay, so I made a comment in our last episode about losing control after my second divorce. I've been in your position before in the sense of feeling like I need more. Uh yeah, I'm not there anymore. And it's not that I don't like I very much so like intimacy and I like having sex, but very much, but with someone who has I'm just not I'm not doing it anymore for just the random. I'm not
So
doing
for
it.
some men, that's something that needs to be brought to the table, and some men, that's something that doesn't need
Right.
to be brought to the
I
table.
think that's why I brought this up. So a lot of them are really just looking for that. And I know that that's the story, everyone tells and that's nothing new. But I just don't like
And I have a hard time because I do think pretty masculine. I have a hard time understanding why a man doesn't need that on the table.
what do you mean?
It's like hard for me to understand because for me, in thinking black cat energy, it's on my table. Like you have to bring this to the table. So for me to be with a man that doesn't need sex on the table, it's really fucking hard for me to understand
Well,
why.
they all need it. If they don't need it, they're not into women. They all need it. They do. They all need it. Like I just don't want it to be their only need
Yeah.
or their only
I
desire.
mean, that fades.
I want some real chemistry. And real chemistry doesn't mean that you just think I'm hot. That's not chemistry. Cuz guess
It's
what?
a
I probably don't think you're hot.
psychological chemistry.
Yeah. There needs to be
Stimulation. There's a
there
mental stimulation.
when I say connection, I don't mean like we're going to fall in love. Like there has to be like some real connection there and
Yeah.
that I want you to put your hands on me and you want to put your hand like vice versa. Um
I
but
get it.
don't come at me like I think you're hot. We should fuck.
I like your
No.
boobies.
Literally. Like do you honestly, you know how often I'm told that they're like I just like big tits and I'm like, "Well, great. There's a billion of them out there in the world. To leave mine
Go
alone."
buy them.
Google it.
I called somebody out not that long ago of like they were like same thing like send me the I'm like does that work on women? Like does
Yes,
that
it does.
seriously? And I'm like and then I called him out again. It's funny that you bring that up but I forgot about this cuz then I was like then that's not the value woman that you need in your life. And he got quiet.
I had multiple times this past week, multiple times I had to tell a guy friend of mine, "We need to work on your standards, buddy. We need to work." And then I pulled in
Okay.
his male friend, and I was like, "You and I together need to have a talk with him because we need to work on his standards."
Okay, but he's in rebound mode right now. There's
you
a
can
difference
you
in
can
rebound
still
mode.
you can still have standards.
Not in rebound mode. I don't think you can.
Girl, I've had some of the finest men in rebound. Some of the
You
finest.
but that's
But
getting
there was no real chemistry.
no. You got dickmatized. Is that a word?
Well, it was more like
You got
probably
dickmatized.
chestmatized, but or assmatized.
Ugh,
The dick is my least of my worries.
I
That's
sent
just
you.
like the dick is like dick in the box. It's like a surprise at the end, or like the baby in the cake.
I hope it's a good surprise. But I texted you the other day. You're like, I had a business meeting. I like complete business meeting. Cold, and like we are talking like how'd it go. I'm like, he's 6'4", and I just that's all I said.
Oh, remember when I told you that I met the guy last week that was like yeah, and I told my coworker, I said, "Hey, you forgot to tell me that old boy is hot." Cause I was like, I don't want to hang out with him. They're gonna be boring. And then I was like, yummy, yummy. And
Well,
so I mean, like he wasn't obtainable. He was married, but I can look. I just have to keep my mouth shut.
or open.
No, he was married. We're being very
Okay, but then I was
good, but
I
I
was at
still could enjoy looking.
I was at this business lunch, and then one of his friends showed up, okay? Dropping off some paperwork for something.
6'4"?
Fuck yes!
See, they're out there.
I'm like, "Are y'all just in a what are you
Okay, but
where?
those guys,
Forest of
those guys get to fall into that high value bracket by accident.
I will say also that I've had relationship I was engaged to somebody that was 6'6".
That's too tall for me. I'm 5'1.5" on a good day.
Yeah, and back then I was 5'6", so a foot like, that was tall.
Mhm.
And then I've been with guys that are 6'4", and they don't bring the same that it's deceitful.
I like
packaging
I like a
is-
good 6'2", like 5'11's fine. 5'11's good. It's good. It's I'm 5'1". 5'11 is good. But there's something about that 6'2" where he can just throw you up. Now don't bring me some slanky, lanky 6'2".
Oh, I can't
He better not have a waist smaller than mine. My mama liked him like that, tall and lanky.
Oh, I can tell you it was very hard to get through that meeting.
Without looking.
Oh my god. I'm like 6'4", 6'4".
But what were you looking at as the question?
I was trying to look him in the eyes, so I wasn't looking anywhere else.
Into his soul?
I was trying to look into his soul. There was no soul there.
Oh, see? 6'4". That's why. 6'4", no soul.
But it really was. And then his friend
What do you
showed
bring
up.
to the table? I'm 6'4".
That's all he had to say to me. And then his friend showed up, and I'm like, I am in the land of, I didn't even know how to describe it. I'm in heaven, and you don't have to say anything. Just stand there. And I guarantee you I'm going to, like, brush you.
That's how I felt about the business friend last week. I knew, like, just stand there. And oh boy, did he. Like a
But
Roman
I
statue.
don't, it will take every part of my being not to be like, I just want to pet you. Like, you're, like, as rare. Like, it was so bad I started petting him.
I gotta stop because I've definitely petted before.
But it
Oh,
was
and if you
not
got good,
even-
if you got
ugh.
good hair, yes, I am. I am that shallow. I like a head full of hair.
I don't even care.
I
about
have been
that.
traumatized by a shiny head though before, so I will never ever. That man would have to be amazing. He would have to be so amazing for me to fall in love with another shiny headed man.
I'm like that with blondes. You never see me with a blonde ever again. Never fucking again.
Well, I also feel like I could never date another ginger just out of like for.
Well, they're black now, so you can go either way.
I don't understand this thing.
Then we're not going down that rabbit hole. We need to wrap this up.
No, but I don't.
But let me tell
understand
you,
that.
I am on the page of I need communication and honesty, and I'm going to set those boundaries and expectations to start with.
With honesty comes communication, love.
But if you're 6'4", I'm just going to stare at you and pet you. I don't give a fuck what we're communicating.
Turn around. Let me see that
I don't
booty.
care the booty. Just let me.
I
just,
like a good booty.
Oh,
Like, I don't need you brushing your teeth with your ass going inward. And this also is why I can't date old men. Your belly stick out further than your booty do.
oh.
Oops. My bad, sorry.
Well,
Okay,
guys,
we'll go.
we love
Sorry.
you. Thanks for joining us today in our unprepared, unapologetic honesty. We love y'all. Subscribe.
Homies.